that many times so that you've lost the thrones of the greatest empire in the world.
Yeah.
The only thing that will now appease that inner shame is to set your designs on having the rest of the world that doesn't even have real true kings, and it's easy to overtake if you set your mind on it, really.
Yeah.
And that is what has happened. So the new world order is to replace the old world order, and that's why it's below an Egyptian pyramid. It's to tell you what order, what god, what king, and why there's a wasteland around the pyramid. Around the pyramid on the dollar bill, you see just sort of like a wasted land. And that's the idea, that these were King Lears being thrown out of their land, betrayed, you see. So they always felt that Egypt had betrayed them. They never looked at themselves as the criminal party. The criminal party now was Egypt.
Yeah.
And so later, when the Judaic scholars were writing this history, Egypt would be played down. The Pharaoh of the time of the Exodus would never be mentioned.
Yeah.
My goodness, if that's not a glowing omission that should have put people on alert long ago as to what's going on.
Yeah, just listen to the terminology that, what is it called, Haiwas, the Egyptian, he who leads the archaeological digs down there. They even call themselves, he has a website, they call it theguardians.net. I mean,
That's right.
what kind of name is that?
Isn't it incredible?
Yeah, Guardians of what, of course.
Guardians.net, Guardians.net. Guardians of what?
Exactly.
And see, if we look at the solar symbolism and the subversive use of sacred symbolism in the media, I emphasize on that DVD about the sun. Not only are the secret societies using it, but Madison Avenue, the media.
Yeah.
We're having light thrown at us.
Yeah.
And this brings us to a very important point, is what has this ancient history got to do with modern times? We've said that it has to do with secret societies. And we talk about that it's the reason for the rise of Judeo-Christianity, because these individuals have penned Judeo-Christianity. They have created it and funded it as a smokescreen behind which that they can operate. So people who study religion will not come across the secrets that I'm talking about. Those who study secret societies may have a chance.
Yeah.
I've studied both, and that's why, and I've also had great mentors like Eustace Mullins and Jordan Maxwell and others. So, of course, one moves forward and understands, and people like Yuri Lina in your own country.
Yeah.
So there's tremendous discoveries. Now we need to go further and see, okay, but that still leaves the question of what on earth does this really have to do with today?
Yeah.
And this is a metaphysical question that has to do with light and the philosophy of light. And why do I refer to Atonism as Luciferianism or as the cult of the dark side of the light? And that has to do with the properties of light and how light can be used as a weapon against the human race, never forgetting that this ultimate war is a war against consciousness. Because the Egyptian groups that we're talking about, they themselves have ancestry coming out of the dragon courts of ancient Atlantis. So even though we've been taking things back to Egypt, let us never forget that Egypt is a modern creation.
Yeah.
In the timeline of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They are merely descendants themselves, as were the Celts, of the dragon blood. That's what they refer to it as, a dragon bloodline, which is why you have dragons in London. The symbol of the dragon is everywhere, on the coat of arms of so many countries and on the flags of Scotland and Ireland, Wales. And you see the dragon. It's the dragon bloodline that William Bramley refers to as the brotherhood of the snake.
Yeah.
And this is why the snake was so important in Egypt. Because the temple, did you know that the temple of Amarna and the temple of Luxor were the first temples shaped in a cross?
No, I didn't.
That's where the cross comes from. That's why the cross is connected to religion. So when Christians are now looking at the secret society symbols of the cross and the crown, and they have this crazy idea that, these wonderful secret societies, at least they're using the cross, and at least Constantine saw a vision of the cross in the heavens, and look, there's the Knights of Malta using what looks like a cross, so I guess they're okay then. Or the Vatican uses the cross everywhere on top of their temples, so I guess there must be Christian then. Well, I'm sorry to have to destroy your little illusion, but no, they're not. And the reason why they use the symbol of the cross in connection with the dove and the globe and the world and all these other symbols, nothing to do with them being Christian. It's got to do with the fact that these are remnants of the temple of Luxor and the temple of Amarna, which were the first temples designed by the Atonists to look like a cross for some reason, because of the cross of the zodiac, perhaps.
Even the queens. It's, as you say, with the what is it called, the Globus Crucier or something.
Yes.
It's I hold the world in my hands and I own it basically. So
that's right. Anima Mundi. It's the Anima Mundi. I am a queen of the world, and upon that is a cross.
Yeah.
And she is the whore of Babylon. But the Babylon is not Babylon in Persia. Babylon originally was in Egypt. Did you know that? The original Babylon was in Cairo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Tower of Babylon never was where it was now. That's just a play on words. The Persians had a great love for Egypt. And even though they were invaders of Egypt in the early times, most of Persian culture adored the Egyptian pharaohs.
Yeah.
Babylon was originally, the original Babylon was outside Cairo, I believe. It was a huge city, and it also had a tower. And the later Babylonians, their Babylonian was Babylon II, basically. It was a reconstruction of the Tower of Babylon in order to honor the Egyptians, because there was a lot of commerce. When times were really, really good, mercantile-wise, between Persia, Iran, and Egypt, there was a period in which the city of Babylon in Egypt was mimicked by the Persians out of homage. And then later, when the Egyptian Babylon was destroyed, people are now thinking Babylon is in Persia, and the Bible, backs that up, and it's not true. It's absolutely not true.
Well, of course, any civilization who thrives and prospers, they build further out and make more cities. So of course, it's not that strange.
It doesn't stop there. I mean, we've got all sorts of Egyptian symbolism in Washington D.C. and Cologne and Paris. I recommend people to get Graham Hancock's book Talisman. To get David Oveson's The Secret Architecture of a Nation's Capital, to show just how extensive this cult is. But the thing to remember when you're reading those books is that those authors cannot tell you who the originator of all of this is. They are unable to tell us who and what is behind all of this. They see something happening, and that's brilliant. As I'm saying, in the last 50 years, we're moving ahead in that respect. That we understand that something bizarre of a secret society nature is happening. That there are that Napoleon and the kings of France and the king of England and the presidents of America are using Egyptian symbolism, and we kind of have this vague idea that they may be Masonic, and I think these guys are into Egypt for some reason. We really don't know why. Well, now the time is to find out why. Who these people really follow, and who the Illuminati really are, who the Luciferian really is. So that when a Christian, if he wants to use that term, go ahead, use it. But then at least know where to apply it, and know how to apply it, because it might implicate you. When a Christian uses the term Luciferian, they may be actually implicating themselves, because their own Christ was a Luciferian. The light that they say that they worship is a philosophy that didn't originate with Christianity, I'm afraid.
Yeah, of course.
So when a Christian goes, well, I worship light. Jesus is light. God is light. I go, so you're into Egyptology now then? They go, no. I just said that God was light. Well, exactly. That's an Egyptian concept, by the way. In fact, it's not even an Egyptian concept. It's a concept brought into Egypt from a lot of these invading dynasties. It's very, very, very pagan.
Yeah.
Do you know any of this?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea about it? They look at you like you're a Satanist, that you're crazy.
Of course. We have about just 3 minutes of the regular program here, but quickly here, is there a connection between Aton and Ireland?
Yes, the connection is interesting because all of Egyptian culture is based on the original, pure, unadulterated Egyptian theocracy is based on Celtic Druidism. This is why my book is actually called The Irish Origins of Civilization.
Yeah.
And the Atonist cult that later migrated out from Egypt in the times that we've been speaking about re-invaded the West and then tried to lie to say that they're the ones bringing back this Judaic, Egyptian, royal, solar symbolism back into the countries of the West, including Ireland. It's like what we talked about in the previous show about the lie of the East to West movement of civilization.
Yeah.
So the deep connection between Egypt and Ireland I try to explore to show that the original unadulterated Egyptian theocracy, which was a stellar astrological theocracy, was Irish in nature. But that it got subverted and destroyed because the Atonists we're talking about coming full circle later on, it's like a full circle type of thing, come back to murder their own parents. Because the connection is that we know that Nefertiti's daughter is buried in Ireland. The Christians talk about their prophet Jeremiah being buried in Ireland. That's a fact.
Yeah.
We know that King Menes of the first dynasty of Egypt is buried in Northern Ireland. And the list goes on of the Egyptian connections, you see.
Yeah.
We need to explore this. What is the real stone of Bethel? And, the Jacob's Ladder and Jeremiah. There's lots of British Israelite lies.
Yeah.
Because the British Israelites are another Freemasonic order that sits in front of the Atonists, who are like their spin doctors, to break up the religions and to lie and to disseminate into the religions of the world the lies so that we don't track back to the true Atonists. The Atonists have many spin doctors and propaganda agencies that make sure that the real history of the world is contorted so that we do not, understand the truth.
Yeah.
My work is to break through all of their lies of the British Israelites and the Zionist movement and the Freemasons so that we can see the true picture of the past in an unadulterated form. And it's a most interesting story. It really is.
It is.
And thank you for giving me the time to, to go into it a little bit.
Absolutely, of course. And we have to we have to continue this, I guess, because there's so much more to talk about. And I just want to say to everyone listening that go to tarotscopes.com, Michael's website, and I highly endorse, to get the DVD series Origins and Oracles, and go there now by simply typing in originsandoracles.com, one word, and get it, because it's important and it's fascinating stuff. So I guess we'll end the interview.
We've been selling out every day. We have orders from all over the world. The thing is far exceeded my expectations of how successful it was going to be, because people have anticipated this for 2 years. I've had so many emails from the last 2 years going, when is it going to be ready? From all over the world, and now I got it ready, and we're having tremendous success with it. It is a work that time has come, really.
Wonderful, wonderful.
They have their own website, as you say.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Michael, for coming on the show.
Okay, Henrik, we'll talk soon then.
Where do we come from?
Michael Tsarion and I will be doing a 6-part program series together here on Red Ice Radio. During this 6-part series, we'll also be having a contest, and you'll have the opportunity to win 1 DVD per program from Michael Tsarion's acclaimed DVD series, Origins and Oracles. Don't forget, our first live program is July 6th at 1 p.m. Pacific on bbsradio.com.